I just don't think they're on yet, honey. Don't they start at 6, you said?
I'm gonna, this might be something, restart my computer.
Or what was that passcode?
And user, that's probably what this is. Meeting ID.
Why don't you send it to me and then I can just read it off to you.
Hi, Diana. We can actually hear you guys.
Messenger.
You're connected and unmuted.
Okay, so should I mute it?
Yep.
Is that what I'm supposed to do?
If you don't mind muting yourself, services will begin shortly.
Okay, I'm trying to find where the muting is. Okay, I see it. I'll do it right now.
Shabbat Shalom.
Don't unmute.
Ya ra ra ya ra ra ya ra 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 ya ra ra ya ra 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 ya ra 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 ya 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Come on in. Rabbi, did you just close down? Did you just close down the bar? There's nothing. That's why everybody came in, because there was nothing left. Oh, fantastic. Thank you for doing that. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We continue on page 6 in our prayer books, page 6. Shalom. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem Malachi Asharet Malachi. Shalom Aleichem Malachi Asharet Malachi Malachi Hamelach HaKadosh Baruch Hu Moachem L'Shalom Malachi HaShalom Malachi Elyon Mimelech Malachi Hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruchuni L'Shalom Malachi HaShalom Malachi Elyon Mimelech Malachi Hamloch HaKadosh Baruch Tzedchem L'Shalom Tzedchem L'Shalom Malachi HaShalom Malachi HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Shabbat evening. If you're here for the first time or it's been a while, I'm Rabbi Daniel Brenner. This is Cantor Mark Childs, still. And we're so happy to have you here to take a deep breath from the week, to take a break from your televisions for the next 2.5 weeks, right? The Olympics. Anyone watch the Olympic opening ceremonies today? Always a little bit. Wow, it's just me. I'm a huge fan of the Olympics. I think there's something very kind of beautiful, olam haba, about the gathering of the nations of the world in the spirit of sport. But the Shabbat is also an opportunity for us to take a rest from everything that's in our lives. So I just want to invite you, before we really enter into our service, to take a couple of deep breaths. Allow all the things that have been tying us down over this week to slowly slip off of our shoulders as we settle into an evening of prayer and learning and being together in community. And also of celebration. This Shabbat, we're celebrating an anniversary. I'd like to invite up Julie Fishman and Sebastian Fishman, who are celebrating 27 years of marriage today.
That's no small thing.
Tepid applause. And may these 27 years all kind of culminate into this one moment of bringing light into our community. And I'll ask you to read on 8.
Almighty God, allow us to rest on this Shabbat. May the light of the candles drive out from within all important.
and sorrow.
Send your blessings to us.
To us and our children, that we may walk in the ways of your Torah,
Your light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik shel Shabbat.
Marriage is a sacred partnership. It's we don't marry somebody because they only make us happy. We marry somebody because we want to strive with them through our lives. And the two of you have been striving for 27 years and will continue to through wonderful joys and difficult moments. And I'm so touched that you wanted to honor and acknowledge this anniversary in our community, because these types of holy relationships, this kiddushin, is a model for everyone who is in a relationship, who is seeking to dig deeper into the depth of their love. And so I'm just so grateful to have you both here to light our candles, and I want to offer you a quick blessing.
Let me help you with it. Make a little chuppah for you.
Oh, that's nice. Actually, Cantor, do you wanna sing?
Sure.
And I'll translate.
I love singing.
Okay.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and protect you. Stand like you're married.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's face shine on you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's face be lifted up to you both, and may you have peace. Amen.
No, it's very sweet. So we were married on 7/27/97, and this is our 27th wedding anniversary. And because of my ring was getting broken and we had to get it fixed, and I just got it back today. So this feels like very B'Sheret.
B'Sheret.
Yes.
Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, le'elad.
Continue on the top of page 9.
Yedi nefesh harachaman, Yedi nefesh harachaman, meshochav lecha, el retzonecha, meshochav lecha, yadadayda, el retzonecha, אל מול הדרך. יאי די יאי די די יאי די די
We'll continue on the top of page 11, and Lori will read for us.
Sing a new song to the worker of wonders with the mighty right hand and the outstretched arm.
All the earth, shout to God. Cry aloud, make music.
Sing. Guitars jangle, trumpets blare, shofar, give us your voice.
The sea will roar, all planet earth. Rivers clap hands and mountains
Ring. Here comes God judging us all. Have we been just? Have we been fair?
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני כוח גדולת some technical difficulties with the internet here at Trinity, but we got you on our backup system, which is Dan Heitner's cell phone. All right. Sadiq Katama Ifrach, Ifrach, Sadiq Katama Ifrach, Sadiq Katama Ifrach. Dance it. Sadiq Katama Ifrach, Keres Balbanon Iske, Keres Balbanon Iske, Keres, don't fall down. Iske, Iske.
We need Michael Feldman's help.
Keres Balbanon Iske, Keres Balbanon Iske, Keres Balbanon Iske, Page 18, Yitkada, Yitkada Shemei Rabba. Yamadi Brachirute, Yamnich Malchute, Ekaye Chodyo Bechot, Ukaye Decho Beit Yisrael. Bagala, Bagala, Ubismakari, Neimru. Yehesh Meira Mevara Le'alam Ulam Amaya Yitbarach Ve'ishtabach Ve'yipar V'drama V'nase Ve'yitadar Ve'yitale Ve'yitala Shemed Kursha Richule Elah Min kobechata eshirata sus bechata mechemata amira be'alma ve'imru.
We rise, page 20 for the Baruch Hu.
La, 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai
You may be seated. And I would like to apologize because I believe I led to some confusion about whether we should stand or whether we should sit before the Chatzi Kaddish. So, if you were sitting, you were right. And if you were standing, you were right. But here's the minchag that I know and I practice, and obviously in different communities you'll find different ones. So take it with your however many grains of salt you want. When we go straight from the Chadodi, where at the end we are standing, into Chatzi Kaddish, the status that we are in when we enter Chatzi Kaddish is the status in which we should stay in. And so because we would normally go from one to the next, we would remain standing for Chatzi Kaddish. However, as soon as the cantor decided to start fiddling and diddling with Tzadik HaTamar, as he is prone to do, that is our time to be seated. And then we stay seated through the Chatzi Kaddish, because the Chatzi Kaddish is one of our prayers in which we are not supposed to be changing status, because the prayer service is changing, and we don't want to add confusion to that. So you were both right.
There will be a test at the end of services tonight as to what he just said.
Page 23. Page 23. I've already got it for you. Isaac, would you lead us?
Word by word, the evening descends, the gates of night swing open.
The sun sets, the moon rises, and the wheeling stars turn through the heavens on
Silent watch. Night washes over day and flows out again at dawn. Day passes and you bring on the night.
with rhythm and melody composed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari Baravim, Ahavat Olam, page 24. You can stay where sitting. You can stay sitting. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Hamechavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu v'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismak b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha leolam avad ki em chayeinu Beorech Yameinu, Uvahem Negeyomam Balayla, Ki Hem Chayeinu. Beorech Yameinu, Uvahem Negeyomam Balayla, Ki Hem Chayeinu. Beorech Yameinu, Uvahem Negeyomam Balayla. Al tasir mimenu leolamim, Baruch ata Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael.
26.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Haed. Page 28. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Top of page 30. Daniel, would you be willing to read for us?
Yes, I would. In each of our lives, we come at last to a limit where we are forced to stop running and cry out to God. How many times have you saved us and pulled us from the fist of danger? We lose count of your miracles. Our lungs filled with life, breath, our feet grip the earth. You turned the world of land and sea against Pharaoh and brought signs and wonders to Egypt's soil. We saw your power revealed at the shore of the sea. There we danced and sang a new song to you.
קודש נורא תהילות אוספלה מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה נאמר כי ודרוני את יעקב ולא מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גא ישראל.
Page 32.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלום ממך ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך והושיענו למען שמך והגן בעדנו והסר מעלינו אויב דבר דבר וחרב ורב ויגון והסר שטן מלפנינו ומאחרינו ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו כי אל שומרנו מצילנו אתה כי אל מלך חנון ורחום אתה אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי עושה שלום במרומה הוא יעשה שלום עלינו עושה שלום במרומה הוא יעשה שלום עלינו עושה שלום במרומה הוא יעשה שלום עלינו יעשה שלום יעשה שלום שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל יעשה שלום יעשה שלום שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל עושה שלום במרומה הוא יעשה שלום עלינו עושה שלום במרומה הוא יעשה שלום עלינו עושה שלום במרומה הוא יעשה שלום עלינו יעשה שלום יעשה שלום שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל יעשה שלום יעשה שלום שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל Thank you. And thanks for I didn't even know you were there. It's like you slipped in. I had no idea you were even at the piano.
At the bottom of page 50 is our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing. This evening, while we're together celebrating Shabbat, celebrating being in community, we're thinking about those in need of healing. Marlene Shan, Judith Kopf, Susie Kurtz, Kimmy Cohn, Verna Gindoff, Shirley Morrison, Sarah Wolf, Emily Rose Smith, Judith Lipton, Kate Morris, Reva McClernon, Bob Keats, Amy Colton, Brandy Mussman, Moshe Halevi Ben Bela, Gloria Kaufman, Andy Saffer, Mort Rudin, Barbara Williams, Misha Zilberman, and Zev Nathan. And I'd like to invite all of you who are here with us this evening to share the names that you're thinking of in need of healing.
Janice Taylor, Harry Margulius, Jeff Curell,
Cindy Weil,
מכל הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us us a blessing, and let us say, Amen. B'shebera imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
I'd like to ask for a little bit of help from a few people who can quickly help me disperse these sheets into the community. So just a few people who are willing to help pass things out. Can you come up? We'll allow a moment for these sheets to come out. But today, we are going to engage in a little bit of Talmud study together. We're going to all become Talmud learners. And we're going to learn one of the most important stories in Talmud. No, we're still waiting on a few sheets. I don't want to start to introduce too much until they are out. But we're going to be learning one of the most important stories, and a story that is very timely. This is the story of Kamtza and Bar Kamtza. It's found in the book of Gittin in Talmud, which is the book all about divorces. And while the story has nothing to do specifically with divorce, it does seem to, in some ways, be appropriate, sitting in the book on divorce. And this is the story of the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. And we're not actually going to read anything about any of destructions. We're not going to read anything about wars. We're going to be reading what our rabbis say is the reason the temple was destroyed. The reason that it was destroyed. And we're going to read this in 4 parts, 4 acts. Each act, I think, sits on its own to teach some lessons. And so we're going to break this into a few parts. We're going to read each act. I'll read the first. We might have some volunteer readers. There are some questions that are included with each section. And at the very end, after we've finished all 4 acts, I have about a 1 minute, we would say kind of a nechemta, 1 minute takeaway. So the Gemara explains, Jerusalem was destroyed on account of Kamtza and Bar Kamtza. So what happened? There is a certain man whose friend was named Kamtza and whose enemy was Bar Kamtza, because the Talmud doesn't want to confuse us at all by having them be the same name. So the man threw a big feast, and he said to his servant, "Go and bring my friend Kamtza." And the servant went and accidentally brought Bar Kamtza to the feast. And the man who was hosting the feast came around and found Bar Kamtza sitting at the feast. What a surprise. And he said to Bar Kamtza, "You are my enemy. What are you doing here? Arise and leave." And Bar Kamtza said to him, "Well, since I've already come, let me stay. I'm already here. Let me stay. And I'll pay you the value of whatever I eat and drink." And the man said, "No, you must leave." So Bar Kamtza said to him, "Tell you what, I will pay for half of this entire feast, if only you would let me stay with you." And the man said, "Absolutely not. You have to leave." And Bar Kamtza said, "I will pay for the entire party, if you would just let me stay." And the host said, "No, you must leave." And he took Bar Kamsa by the hand, stood him up, and walked him out. Act 1. What words might we use to describe the man throwing the party? Just shout out: prideful, stubborn, maniacal, monomaniacal. He's one-track mind. What it was, close-minded. Okay. Maybe a little stupid, Levi. Sebastian likes the guy. He says, "No, look, you got your principles." Yeah, we don't know the backstory. We don't know. What was that, Jeff? A lost opportunity. Okay, and how would we describe now Bar Kamsa? Reasonable. Generous. Maybe manipulative. Smart. What was that? Maybe he's wealthy. He can just like show up at someone's party and pay for it. Okay. Courageous. They're enemies ahead of time. We know this. And so it's not just that he is bargaining to stay at the party. He accepted an invitation to his enemy's party, right? Diplomatic, maybe. Okay. Act 2. Let's get a different reader. I know there's like weird names in here and things, so do your best, but who's willing to read Act 2? All right. Go ahead, Cynthia.
After having been cast out from the feast, Bar Kamsa said to himself, "Since the sages were sitting there and did not protest the actions of the host, although they saw how he humiliated me, clearly they were content with what he did. I will therefore go and inform against them to the emperor." He went and said to the emperor, "The Jews have rebelled against you." The emperor said to him, "How do you know?" Bar Kamsa said to him, "Go and test them. Send them an offering to be brought in honor of the government, and see whether they will sacrifice it." The emperor went and sent with him a perfect 3-year-old calf. While Bar Kamsa was bringing the calf to the temple, he made a blemish on the calf's upper lip, a place where, according to us, halacha, it is a blemish, but according to them, Gentile rules for their offerings, it is not a blemish. Therefore, when Bar Kamsa brought the animal to the temple, the priests would not sacrifice it on the altar since it was blemished, but they also could not explain this satisfactorily to the Gentile authorities, who did not consider it to be blemished.
Act 2, different Bar Kamsa. So now what words are we going to use for Bar Kamsa? Manipulative, vengeful, cunning, sneaky, deceitful. How about selfish? It's all about him. In one paragraph, we've completely changed minds about Bar Kamsa. Does anyone still feel a little bad about how he was treated at the party? Still, maybe. What did Act 2 bring into the equation, though? What character or group of
Please. Yeah, look at the way here. Ignorance and intolerance. So the sages seemingly saw what happened to Bar Kamsa at the party and said nothing. It's not very sage-like. On the other hand, the emperor of Rome, what is his action that we see in this text? He's testing the Jews based on Bar Kamsa's suggestion. But how? Well, he doesn't know that yet. But he is being manipulated by Bar Kamsa. He gives them a sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice? A young, perfect calf. He knows their rules. So the emperor is being diplomatic here. Right? So who's the bad guy in the story? Well, Bar Kokhba, and who else? No, we're talking about the leaders, the sages. The sages, because the emperor is, so I'm kind of getting ahead, I know Acts 3. So the emperor is trying to send an appropriate offering to test the sages. And Bar Kokhba is getting in the way. Okay. Acts 3. It's going to be here. We'd like to. Yeah.
Despite the blemish, the sages thought to sacrifice the animal as an offering due to the imperative to maintain peace with the government. Rabbi Zechariah then Golas said to them, if we do that, people will say that blemished animals may always be sacrificed as offerings on the altar. The sages said, if we do not sacrifice it, then we must prevent Bar Kokhba from reporting this to the emperor. The sages thought to kill him so that he would not go and speak against them. Rabbi Zechariah said to them, if you kill him, people will say that one who makes a blemish on sacrificial animals is to be killed. As a result, they did nothing. Bar Kokhba's slander was accepted by the authorities, and consequently the war between the Jews and the Romans began. Rabbi Yohanan says, the excessive humility of Rabbi Zechariah and Golas destroyed our temple, burned our sanctuary, and exiled us.
Yeah. Whoa. All right, so what are the two values that the rabbis are looking for? Expediency? How?
Just do what makes the emperor happy.
So they're weighing, we should just get this over with quickly, this is what the government wants, okay? Peace versus personal belief. Sure, if we make this offering, it's not the way that we would do it, but it's for the sake of peace. On the other hand, what would happen if we were to break our beliefs in such a significant way as making an impure offering on the temple's altar? That's a significant struggle. What do I do here? Do I follow? Well, maybe you should have been there back then to describe that solution, because you're offering a very, very good solution. If only somebody says, well, maybe a loophole, right? He says, well, maybe they could have just offered the sacrifice, not made the blessing, and called everybody happy. And I said, well, that would have been a really good solution for someone to bring up at that time, but no one did. Instead, what happens? Well, before we were.
What happens is there's no decision, no action. Sages are like Hamlet. They're examining everything, but they can never act. They can never make an executive decision.
Hamlet, he's always about to do something character, right? The sages can't move forward. They just stop. Well, we should
do something here. Oh, we can't do that because of this. Well, we should do something here. Well, we can't do that because of this. And no one takes an authoritative stance and says, this is what we should do. I want to make sure we're getting other voices too. And I got to get to Act 4 because we're not going to be here for another 45 minutes, I promise. In the meantime, Bar Kokhba does go to the Romans. Do you think he knows what the outcome will be? Yes. So what's Bar Kokhba's mindset? If it's not good for me, let it all burn. Right? If this system isn't good for me, I'm going to burn it all down. Right? Okay. And so at the very end, what do you think Rabbi Yochanan is trying to say? You know, he says in the Hebrew, it does say humility. The humility of Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkolas destroyed the temple, burned our sanctuary, exiled us. What do you think he means when he says humility? He doesn't want to insult anybody. He's pointing out the flaws. How many people do we know who will point out all the flaws but not offer any solutions? So his inability to see beyond his own world is what causes all of this destruction. That's what Rabbi Yochanan says. But Rabbi Elazar says something else in Act 4. So let's look at Act 4. Howard, do you read?
To conclude the story of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa and the destruction of Jerusalem, the Gemara studies Baraita, it is taught, Rabbi Elazar says, come and see how great is the power of shame for the Holy One. Blessed be God, assisted Bar Kamsa, destroyed the temple, and burned the sanctuary.
What's the difference between Rabbi Yochanan's ascribing of blame and Rabbi Elazar's?
Elazar seems to understand human nature,
How so?
that people have flaws. People can feel and experience shame.
Okay, so he's noticing the emotion that took place from the outset, right? But he also ascribes all the blame of what's to follow, not to the sages who are making the decisions, but to God, for the sake of the shame. What is Elazar trying to teach us? Rabbi Elazar, one of the wisest commentators that we have in the Talmud, always kind of comes in at the last minute to try to make a point that we weren't thinking about. Bob?
To me, the point of this is the danger, the sin of shaming other people. That shaming someone is about the worst thing you can do.
Absolutely. In other parts of our teaching, we learn that to cause someone embarrassment is like to murder them. I think what this is saying is we could talk all day long about who's to blame, the sages or the emperor, but at the end of it, the punishment came because two normal people, couldn't get eye to eye. Right? We can blame the sages and their musings, and we can blame the emperor, and we can blame Bar Kamsa, but really what this all gets down to is the first story. God couldn't stand to see the Israelites treat each other in such a way. The rest didn't matter. If the Israelites couldn't treat each other in a good way, then none of it mattered. And God destroyed God's own temple and sanctuary and kicked God's people out of the land of Israel because they couldn't get along, because they couldn't be kind. And so now let me just offer my one little piece at the end. We are learning this story because in 2.5 weeks we will be commemorating Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is known as the saddest day, the most mournful day of the Jewish calendar. It's the day that we ascribe to the destruction of not just the first but the second temple. We ascribe the Bar Kokhba rebellion, when the Jews were finally put down in the land of Israel by the Romans for the final time. We ascribe the expulsions from Spain as well. Tisha B'Av holds all of our collective grief in one single day. And this is the story that we read on Tisha B'Av to remind ourselves of why we got there. Because of, in Hebrew, sinat chinam, baseless hatred. And I have seen this week in so many different aspects of the world, sinat chinam. We saw it in political violence. We saw it in protests. We saw it today at the Olympics. Sinat chinam. Hatred of the other person for no other reason than I disagree with you. I don't want you at my party. Now, I can stand here all day and tell you that for the next 7 months, we really have to buckle down. We really have to be seeking each other's best selves. I want to give you 2.5 weeks until Tisha B'Av. 2.5 weeks. Can you take 17 days to just seek kindness and to remove hatred? I think if we could do that for just the next 17 days, the world would be a much better place. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue now with the Aleinu on page 120, and I'll invite you to rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
You may be seated. This palace, blue curtain of sky, rock foundation of earth, conceals and reveals the presence of God. All is God, there is nothing else, as it is written. Make yourself aware, awaken your heart to this. God fills the heaven and earth, there is nothing else. You are hope for a better world, in which the false gods that divide us will disappear, and the human family will abandon our old hatreds and fears. L'taken olam, to heal this fractured world, we need vision and hope. We still hold fast to the ancient prophecy. A time will come of a world at peace. On that day there shall be one God, and the name of God shall be one.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו Echad.
We'll turn now to page 122, the Mourner's Kaddish. And if you are here saying Kaddish for a loved one, as I read their name aloud, I'll invite you to rise. We're in the period of Shiva, the first week after the passing of Maureen White, Oscar Wasserman, Pearl Boxer, and Edwin Rosenblatt. And we're in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days after the passing of Ethan Amos Pollock, Ron Sorgman, and Pearl Bloom. We're in the first 11 months of saying Kaddish. For Sheldon Rosenfield, Irene Levy, Roma Sengel, Howard Cooperman, Howard Silver, Millicent Hamilton, Jana Young, Amos Polak, Shirley Sarah Pomerantz, Joel and Marilyn Wexel, Mary Zeidler, Judy Poole, Katie Alicia Shovers, Arthur Mazaro, Susan Rossi Winokur, Diane Cohen, Rosalie Greenspan, Sandy Bothman, Jake Trambert, Reuben Walker Smith, Rachel Karazi, Regine Pringle, Laura Smith, Sheldon Rosenfield, Abe Presser, Marshall Zweig, Irene Hymanson, and Irma Jerkowitz. The Shabbat marks the yard sites of Sarah Baum, Seymour Bluestein, Dorothy Cohen, Morton Cohen, Samuel Fliegler, Yale Freed, Sylvia Good, Rena Gordon, Ruth Kaplan, Hyman Kowalski, Lotta Lenart, Manya Lipschitz, Benjamin Lipson, Mel Marks, Robert Marshall, Hyman Nadler, Patricia Evelyn Rogers, Irv Rosen, Harold Schoen, and Harold Wilson. And if you are saying Kaddish for a loved one and you'd like to add their names for Kaddish, or if I mispronounce the name, please say that name aloud. Please follow your own tradition now to rise or to remain seated. We'll join in these words together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirteh ve'amlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'olam u'lalnei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, shemei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yishvei Tevel v'imru, Amen. You may be seated. Now to offer some announcements on behalf of our community, I invite up myself. So just a few things to note. Tomorrow, Torah study and our Shabbat morning minyan will not be here. They are going to be tenting the whole campus, and so our Torah study and minyan will be at the Fairview offices. All that information is also on our website, so please feel free to look at that. In the coming week, I'm not sure if there's anything of particular note other than that we have our Melton registration out. But next Shabbat is a very meaningful Shabbat. CBB is for the first time celebrating Pride Month, and our brand new affiliation group, CBB Keshet, is putting on a number of things throughout the month. Next Friday night for Pride Shabbat, we're going to have a beautiful sermon from Rabbi Debbie Lewis, and we'll be introducing this new group. Torah study next week will be led by Rabbi Malka Drucker, and there'll be a couple other events as well that we'll announce as we get closer. But it's a lovely new venture that acknowledges, such an important part of our community. So we're very happy to have that happening too. Please join us after the service down in the fellowship hall for motzi, kiddush, and then a little bit of an oneg. And thank you for being here. Shabbat Shalom. Cantor.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Page 124 as we sing Adon Olam and transition down to the Oneg Shabbat. Adon Olam Hashem Allah B'terem kol Yetzir Nivra Le'et Nasa V'chefzo
careful as you're looking at it. It looks like where the sprinkler head is broken. It's a little valve there.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for hanging in there.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much.
Shabbat Shalom, friends.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to all. Yes.